Welcome everyone to this premium explainer. Today we're bringing you an absolute masterclass of an English reading and vocabulary lesson specifically designed for secondary, and baccalaureate students. Inspired by the exceptional educational frameworks of Mr. Rada Adel, this explainer is going to give you a true executive-level briefing on Unit 1, Living Well in a Complex World. We're going to break down some incredibly relevant concepts using a highly structured approach that makes advanced English both accessible and, honestly, pretty fascinating. So let's dive right into it.
So, here is the big question driving our entire session today. You know, modern teenage life moves faster now than it ever has in human history. I mean, technology was supposed to save us time, right? Yet somehow, we just fill that time with more tasks, more screens, and frankly, a lot more pressure. So, in an environment that is literally constantly demanding your attention and your energy, what does it actually mean to thrive? How do you maintain your well-being when everything around you just feels so complicated?
Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to look at the modern lifestyle challenge, dive into some essential well-being vocabulary, unpack the social media effect, tackle participial phrases and grammar, and finally, look at taking responsibility for your health. Now, this illustrates the core foundation of living well, because well-being isn't just one single thing. It's more like a giant puzzle, an intricate balance of four main pillars. It involves maintaining your physical well-being through activity, developing responsible daily habits, maintaining strong social connections, and, this is a big one, learning to cope positively with stress. When just one of these pillars is neglected, well, the whole structure of your well-being can start to wobble.
Section 1. Essential Well-Being Vocabulary. Building your linguistic toolkit for the modern world.
All right, let's build that toolkit. On the screen, you'll see the advanced English term, its part of speech, the English definition, and the exact Arabic meaning right next to it so you can really lock it in. Take self-efficacy. It's a noun, meaning the belief in your own ability to succeed. Then we have structural barriers, which are basically built-in societal obstacles that limit your choices. Resilience is your bounce-back factor, your ability to recover quickly from difficulties. And finally, locus of control, the degree to which you believe you control your own life. Anchoring these advanced English terms to your native language visually is an incredibly powerful way to master them.
Let's actually zoom in on that last one, because locus of control is an absolute game changer in psychology. If you have an internal locus of control, you believe that choosing to exercise, eating nutritiously, and managing stress are expressions of your own personal power. Your actions drive the outcome. On the flip side, if you have an external locus of control, you tend to blame outside forces when things go wrong. And research shows that mindset can be incredibly disempowering and often leads to a much more passive lifestyle. Section 2. The social media effect, navigating the digital pressure of the modern lifestyle.
Consider this social media post featured in the text. It says something like, I woke up at 5 a.m., went on a 10-kilometer run, prepared an amazing green smoothie, and ends with, health is a choice, always. The absolutely crucial point here is that this is a highly curated performance. It's a constructed version of life. But as a viewer, especially for a teenager at a highly impressionable stage, your brain instinctively treats this polished, filtered image as an objective, 100% accurate picture of reality. And that creates a massive disconnect. Think about the highlight reel effect, that tendency to post only the absolute best, most perfect moments online. Now, contrast that with the objective reality of the person just sitting there scrolling. The viewer engages in this really dangerous social comparison, measuring their everyday normal life against someone else's artificial highlight reel. The data on this is actually pretty striking. Spending more than 3 hours daily on these image-based platforms makes teenagers twice as likely to report symptoms of low self-esteem and anxiety.
Section 3. Grammar in context. Participial phrases. Upgrading your sentence structure.
Okay, we are going to look at participial phrases. Now, don't tune out. This isn't just a boring drill. It's actually an incredibly sophisticated tool for combining ideas and adding some real precision to your academic writing. And the mechanics are beautifully simple. Step 1, take a sentence with a relative clause, like people who eat healthy stay fit. Step 2, simply remove the relative pronoun in the verb, so cross out who eat. Step 3, replace it with an ing or ed phrase. The golden rule to remember here, your new participial phrase has to clearly refer to the subject of your main clause. Otherwise, you end up with a dangling modifier. Let's actually see this in action using our health theme. Take a standard sentence. Teenagers who sleep fewer than 7 hours are significantly more likely to report anxiety. By applying our quick rule, we can upgrade that instantly.
Sleeping fewer than 7 hours, teenagers are significantly more likely to report anxiety. See the difference? It flows way better, it sounds much more executive, and it perfectly demonstrates a high-level command of the English language.
Section 4. Shared responsibility. Who is really in control of our health?
So there is a major debate among health professionals and sociologists about who is truly responsible for a teenager's well-being. On one hand, the personal responsibility camp argues for exercising personal agency and building daily resilience. But then the social and environmental influences camp points out that, hey, it's pretty hard to just choose to exercise if you face structural barriers, like living in a neighborhood with 0 safe parks. And it's tough to choose healthy food when you're constantly battling aggressive junk food advertising or limited socioeconomic resources. So how do we bridge this gap? Well, enter the concept of the nudge, pioneered by economist Richard Thaler. The idea here is that responsibility is actually shared. Governments and communities can step in by making small, well-designed changes to our environment that naturally shift our behavior toward healthier choices, but without actually restricting our freedom. Think about putting the fresh fruit right at eye level in a cafeteria and hiding the junk food down on the bottom shelf. That's a nudge. It just makes the healthier choice the easier choice. But ultimately, even with supportive environments and helpful nudges, you still need your own armor. The source text gives us this really powerful conclusion. To protect mental health, young people need to develop media literacy skills and learn to identify bias in online content. Media literacy is literally your shield. It's the ability to look at that crazy 5 a.m., 10-kilometer run post and recognize it for what it is, a curated highlight reel, not some objective standard that you are failing to meet. And that brings us to the end of our briefing. We've covered the whole shebang today, from self-efficacy and structural barriers, all the way to the executive power of participial phrases. But the real tangible value of this premium lesson comes down to how you apply it. So I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. In a world filled with structural barriers and carefully curated highlight reels, how will you choose to exercise your personal agency today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep building those essential skills.